To describe our mind is sometimes like a monkey full of chattering trees, jumping from branch to branch. Contemplation teaches us to kind of still the monkeys, the monkey mind, so that we can pay attention to what's going on both internally and externally around us.
How do you begin, or where do you begin? And one of my teachers, I would consider my teacher, is Pema Chodron. She says, start where you are. And it's quite profound. You start where you are, and that's the most important thing. It's not, meditation isn't a practice that you start doing once you have everything figured out and your life is in this nice little box.
We talk about value propositions, right? Very important, because the purpose of an organization is not just to survive, it's to thrive. Now, there's only one sustainable competitive advantage that an organization has. What is it? People? All right, go deeper. What is it about people? What makes it different than their functions and system? Ideas. Go deeper.
Creativity.
Bam. Okay, so let's go there, okay? The only sustainable competitive advantage an organization has is innovation. That's it, right? We have to out-innovate in the present moment. You have a wellspring of experience that you can pull from for innovation. But that's the wrong way to do it.
We've been teaching different forms of mindfulness practices, meditation practices, or contemplative practices. There are a lot of businesses, many of whom are even here in the Twin Cities, like Target and General Mills, that are incorporating these kinds of practices into a professional context, but kind of bridges the personal and the professional.
Innovation and creativity comes from a place of relaxing the mind and listening. Listening to what the mind presents. You're all brilliant. You really are. Maybe you don't know calculus. I'll never know calculus. But you're all brilliant. And if you look at the great thinkers over time who have created game-changing innovation, they all allowed the ideas to come to them.
Mindfulness, this term comes from Jon Kabat-Zinn. He's done a lot with mindfulness, created the mindfulness-based stress reduction program at the University of Massachusetts Medical Center. He defines mindfulness in this simple way: the awareness that emerges by paying attention on purpose in the present moment without judgment and moment by moment. It's a kind of a habit or a skill that one can develop of paying attention, and without judgment means that we learn to kind of turn off those immediate judgments or reactions that we have, some of which we might learn can be kind of unhealthy or unhelpful for actually making good or wise decisions. We can think of contemplation, or we also like to use the term contemplative practices, are any practices that are designed to quiet the habitual chatter and distraction of the mind in order to access a deeper or more inner core of creativity or wisdom.
One of the strategic propositions for incorporating mindfulness in the corporate arena is innovation. We just finished a study, a really cool 8-week study, where we took 2 groups of people, and we had one group of people attend a graduate leadership course, okay? And that course was 3 hours a week. They sat there, they learned about leadership, they learned about what to do, situational leadership, all of these things. And then they go out into the field, like any good class would have, and they experimented. They thought of new ways of being in relationship with followers. Then they bring it back and they discuss it. And we had a second group. And that second group came once a week and meditated for 45 minutes. Okay, something that can be accomplished in a lunch hour. And I can go deeply into it, but I have just about a minute left. So as a professor, I'm mindful. I'm going to tell you everything I know. And if I had a USB and I could stick it in my brain and just have you download it, I would. Because I think we're onto something great here. So here's what we found. We were studying creative capacity, which means not only an individual's ability to be more creative, but their ability to take a chance on their own creativity, to bend it into reality. We found that there was a very significant increase in regulatory focus, that's called promotional, in the meditation group that meditated for 8 weeks, 45 minutes a week, just once a day, or once per week, rather. The other group didn't budge at all. Even though they had learned all of these frameworks for being creative and having new relationships with their employees, there was zero change. And I think that's a pretty significant finding.
It starts to give you a little shift in life. And it's not hugely profound or anything, but for me, the first thing I noticed was my sense of time. And especially when I'm working with college students and everything, as I'm sure you can relate, everybody's like, how am I supposed to fit this now into my life? I have all these different things going on, and now I have to find time for meditation. But what happens is time for me got really wide and spacious. And it led to a certain type of calmness that I was able to bring throughout my life. And it wasn't as though I got more time. We all have the same amount of time. But it gives you more time and space to be present in the moment.
I want to leave you with this challenge. Just a challenge. See what you can pick up today when you're with another person and you're listening to them, and then your mind goes somewhere else. Maybe the mind is telling you something. Maybe it's telling you that you need more sleep. Maybe it's telling you that you don't listen very well. Maybe it's telling you that you're judgmental. Maybe it's telling you some great idea that you're dying to write down. But see if you can't just catch yourself once. So tweet that. Thank you guys for your time. Yeah, I was